coin landed tails, the supermarket, his coworkers. And here's where it goes from disturbing to chilling. Right after that flip, Randy Stair went out and secretly bought a second shotgun, the deadly coin flip. On April 25th, 2017, at 9:12 in the morning, a young man walked out of his house in rural Pennsylvania, set up a camera, and flipped himself a coin. Not as a magic trick, not as a bit for his channel. He was genuinely, seriously using a 1983 George Washington quarter to decide how several people's lives would end. Best 2 out of 3, heads it happens at home, tails it happens at the supermarket. And then he did something almost theatrical. He walked outside, walked into the driveway, and flipped the coin so it would land on the ground. Showing the camera he wasn't stepping near it, wasn't touching it, wasn't cutting the footage. He wanted everyone to know that the coin flip was fair. He wanted it to be legitimate. Because in his mind, whatever that coin said wasn't a choice anymore. It was destiny. Flip 1, tails, supermarket. Flip 2, heads, home. Flip 3, tails, supermarket. Done, right? Best of 3? Except Randy kept flipping. Flip 4, heads. Flip 5, tails. He flipped 5 times after promising the coin 3, and according to people who studied the full tapes of this case, that the pattern flip, check flip again went on far longer than the neat little ritual he described. Because that's the truth hiding inside the video. The coin flip was never deciding anything. Randy had already decided. He just needed the universe to sign it off, and he was willing to stand in his driveway flipping a quarter over and over until it did. 6 weeks later, 3 people were dead inside a supermarket, and that coin flip video was sitting online in public where it had been the whole time. This is the story of Randy Stair, and trust me, you have never heard a motive like this one. What people did notice was that he was quiet, shy, withdrawn. He drifted from school, tried community college, and eventually settled into a job stocking shelves overnight at the Wells Market grocery store in Eaton Township, just outside Tinhackick, rural Wyoming country. The kind of place where everybody knows everybody, and the worst crime anyone expects is a bar fight. And that's basically where Randy Stair's real life stopped. He worked the same job for years, no promotions he cared about, no plans, because Randy's real life, the one he actually lived, was on the internet. He had a YouTube channel ever since he was a teenager, comedy skits, characters, puppets, just goofy stuff, and he wanted to make it. He wanted 100,000 subscribers, and he never cracked 9,000. And I want you to hold on to that detail, because the hunger, that need to be seen, never went away. It just changed shape, and over the years his content got darker. He got obsessed with ghosts. He would film paranormal investigations in cemeteries, and then 2 fixations took over his entire world. Fixation number 1, Columbine. Randy idolized the 2 teenagers behind it, studied them, wrote about them, called them his role models. He didn't see 2 murderers, he saw 2 guys who escaped. And fixation number 2, and you are not going to believe this one. In the mid-2000s, Nickelodeon had a show called Danny Phantom, and one of the villains was a character named Amber McLean, a ghost rock star with blue flaming hair, and Randy Stair became obsessed with her. And I don't mean quote big fan obsessed, I mean he built his entire belief system around this cartoon character. He created an anime series called Amber's Ghost Squad, EGS for short. In Randy's fantasy, Amber and a squad of ghost girls existed in the afterlife, waiting, and Randy genuinely, deeply believed that when he he died, he would cross over and join them. He even had a new name ready for this world, Andrew Blaze. In his journals, he wrote that he was a girl's soul trapped in a man's body, and that death would finally fix that. He'd be reborn as one of the ghost girls, new identity, new body, new life after death. Now, here's where it stops being a fantasy and starts becoming a plan. Andy wrote thousands of pages of journals, hours and hours of video, that there was a way to prove his devotion to the Ghost Squad, a way to earn his place among them. He called it a, quote, soul contract, end quote. And the price of that contract was other people's lives. And by the spring of 2017, he'd picked a date, June 7th. But before he locked it in, there was one decision that he couldn't make on his own, and that's where the quarter comes in. Okay, this is the detail I teased at the top, and it is the twisted heart of this entire case. In April of 2017, Andy Stair was torn, not about whether to die. That part in his mind was settled. He was torn about option 1. His bedroom surrounded by his Ghost Squad posters and drawings. Quiet, private, dying, as he put it, quote, surrounded by what he loved, end quote. Option 2, the supermarket. And option 2 meant other people would die with him. Here's the thing, he couldn't have both. And if he did it at the store, there was no coming home afterward. He knew that. He wrote about that. And this was a genuine fork in the road. The coin landed tails. The supermarket. His coworkers. And here's where it goes from disturbing to chilling. Right after that flip, Randy Stair went out and secretly bought a second shotgun. Because Randy documented everything, he logged into Twitter and posted this word for word. Quote, let it be known that on April 25th, 2017, at around 9:12 a.m., something insanely huge was decided by a flip of a 1983 George Washington quarter, end quote. He told the world, he time-stamped it. He told everyone something insanely huge had just been decided, and nobody asked what. From that moment on, Randy Stair was living on a countdown, and he was broadcasting it. In May, he uploaded a video showing off his 2 shotguns. He named them after his cartoon characters. He gave a walking tour of the supermarket, pointing out the exits. He explained in detail how he planned to block those exits with pallets so nobody could get out. He talked about his coworkers. He had worked beside some of them for 7 years. He uploaded what he would call his, quote, suicide tapes, end quote. Hours of video, goodbyes to his fans, goodbye to his parents, where he told them not to blame themselves, and that even if someone had gotten him help, it wouldn't have worked. He uploaded his journals, every ugly page, and the tweets kept coming. Quote, I'm gonna be dead by the end of next week, end quote. And one final night, quote, goodbye humans, ... I'll miss you, ... end quote. Think about that. A man publicly announcing his own death, the date, the plan, the weapon, the location, on platforms anyone could see. And it was all read as performance, as edgy internet content, because surely no one actually means that. And on the night of June 7th, 2017, Randy showed up for his overnight shift at Wells Markets, and the store was open 24 hours, and the overnight crew were small. That night, there were just 5 people in the building. Victoria Brong, 26, sweet, friendly, the kind of coworker people described as a light in the store, and Randy had once shown her some of his cartoon videos, and that's how normal things seemed. Brian Hayes, 47, the overnight manager, a family man with decades of work behind him. Terry Sterling, 63, the veteran of the store, he'd been there forever. And Kristen Newall, a young coworker stocking shelves that night with her earbuds and listening to music music, and that detail matters. Remember it. Randy had brought a duffel bag to work. Inside there were the 2 shotguns and a bag full of ammunition. Just after midnight, he texted a suicide note to a mother and she was asleep. Then he posted the links to everything, the tapes, the journals, the final video, and went to work on the exits, blocking one of them one by one, exactly the way he described it on camera weeks earlier. At around 1 a.m., it happened. It was chaos, dozens of rounds. Victoria, Brian, and Terry, people who had never done anything to him, who by every account had only ever been kind, and they never made it out. Investigators would later say it plainly. It wasn't about who they were just there. They were the price of the soul contract. And then the detail that still haunts this case. Kristen Newell was in the aisle playing her music in her earbuds. She didn't hear it begin. And when she finally realized what was happening, she hid. And at some point, Randy Stair, a man who had come there to leave no one behind, came face to face with her. And he didn't do it. He looked at her and he moved on. Why? And nobody knows. And in the fantasy running through his head, she simply wasn't part of the script. But because of that moment, that one inexplicable moment, Kristen Newell survived. She got out and called 911. By the time troopers entered the store, it was over. Randy had done the final step of his plan, and the quote, crossing over, end quote, he'd written about for months. In his mind, he wasn't dying. He was going home to Ember. 4 bodies, 1 survivor, and a town that woke up to news vans. When investigators dug into Randy's life, they found the most disturbing part of the whole case: the paper trail. The journals, the tapes, the countdown, the coin, and the district attorney stood in front of the cameras and told the public. Essentially, he told everyone for months. And that's the question this case leaves behind. After every tragedy like this, we ask, were there any warning signals? Usually the answer is messy, debatable. Hindsight is 20/20. Not here. Here, the warning signs had view counts. The warning signs had timestamps. And one of them was literally a man flipping a quarter on camera, asking fate whether or not the people he worked with deserved to live. And then tweeting about it. Ember's ghost squad never existed. There was no crossing over, no reunion, no new identity waiting on the other side. There was just a quarter spinning in the air over a Pennsylvania driveway and a man who was always going to keep flipping it until it gave him the answer that he wanted.
Nobody cares until you're dead. It's the sad truth of life. Watch all my social medias. I can't believe he's dead. I'm so sad. I loved his videos. You haven't seen jack on my social media since. And after this happens, people will be like, man, I wish I would have talked to them more. Well, too late. It's always what happened with my fan base. As much as I love my fans, no one said jack to me until I said something big. Like, oh, I'm leaving. If nothing major was happening, it was like I didn't even exist.
Here's my question for you. Whose job is it to stop someone like this? The platforms? The audience? The people who see the tweets and just scroll past? Let me know what you think in the comments. I read them all. And if you made it this far, do me a favor. If you like this video, share it and subscribe so that you don't miss the next crazy case. Take care of yourselves, take care of each other, and if someone in your life says that they're not okay, even if it sounds like a joke, believe them. And as always, our hearts and thoughts go out to the victims and the families of the victims in this case. This is crazy, and those people did not deserve to die. I hope that they can find peace somewhere. And I'll see you in the next one. Adios.